Hello and welcome to Your Trades the week ahead. A truncated week comes to a close with the Nifty marginally in the red and so to speak it was rather listless even though we had an expiry to deal with.
Oh yes indeed, listless so to say, and a bit of a disappointment on the first day of the new series, but lots of results and lots of reactions, and that is what we will be discussing on the show as well.
Oh yes, that we will. Bigger disappointment actually for the broader markets because the Nifty Junior ended up with losses of about 1.7%, while the Nifty slid about 0.4%, closing below the 5700 mark. So yes, the bias is now on Friday at least tilted towards the downside. IT, oil and gas, healthcare, metals, real estate and power were your losers. On the flip side, there were gains for the cap goods index and marginally, so to speak, for autos. The gainers included the likes of M&M and L&T reacting to their earnings, IDFC, BPCL, Axis, ICICI Bank, NTPC, TCS, GAIL. You had Asian Paints which held out, Heromoto Corp as well as Bajaj Auto. On the flip side, it was PNB which actually dragged the market in the Bank Nifty down with it on Friday. 7% intraday cut coming in, and for the week as well, it's lost a good 9% or so. JSPL, BOB, Power Grid, ITC, SBI, JP Associates, Unilever, Tata Motors as well as Wipro were your other laggards this week.
Lots of individual movers on the mid cap and the small cap end as well. Pull up a CESC for you. That one was amongst the top newsmakers for the week. Not the best of weeks, particularly the last 2 days. 17% gone for CESC, and naturally Firstsource would be the other one that would come purely by virtue of the volatility that the stock saw. IRB Infra is the other one which didn't have the best of weeks, though a semblance of sanity coming in Friday's session, but IRB Infra on the whole didn't have the best of weeks. I think Exide would also figure right out there amongst the list of the top losers, though of course it had some bit of a reaction in Friday's session itself, but should pull up Exide Industries for you. 6% gone in this week as well, so not the best of days for Exide. Best of weeks for Exide, excuse me. All in all, lots of individual newsmakers, and we'll discuss some of them with our experts. Let's get them on board. On the technicals, Rajat Bose, and on the fundamentals, Pifani Shekhar of Angel. Gentlemen, thanks so much for joining in. Rajat, a quick one. Did the trade on Friday disrupt what a lot of people believe to be positive movements for the Nifty and the Bank Nifty?
I wouldn't really put that way, because if you notice that right from 9th of October, we are in a range-bound situation. Broadly, the range is between, say, 57.20 on the upside and 56.50 on the downside. Of course, during this period, there had been a low of 56.33. So my point is that there had been quite a few occasions when it seemed as if we were breaking down below that 56.35 mark, and unless we really see that is happening and that is backed with good volume on the downside, we can only then say that more probably the market is getting into a directional mode. Otherwise, this kind of a range bound movement is continuing. Of course, our market history suggests that we do not continue for very long, at least in the index, in a range bound situation. But definitely Friday's trading, especially the kind of thing that happened in PNB as well as in CESC, definitely suggests that we have some cause for concern. But overall, I would say that we still need some confirmation before we can say that the market has really weakened.
Okay, it was the banking pack which was in focus on Friday with two heavyweights from the Nifty names, that's ICICI Bank, and on the flip side, PSUs like PNB came out with their earnings. Let's bring in Poonam Sani to analyze these numbers for us. Poonam.
Well, ICICI Bank has reported very strong profit growth of close to 30% on a YOY basis, and the PAT is above 5% above the estimates. This is on the back of a very strong growth in the net interest income, and the margins for the bank has again remained stable quarter on quarter, which is still good. Again, in terms of the asset quality for the bank has remained stable quarter on quarter again, which is a very good sign. In terms of the slippages came out to 1,220 crores, and there was an account of 500 crores towards a media company that has slipped into an NPA, but the bank does have 85% provision cover towards this. Barring this, the overall asset quality, be it the restructured assets or the slippages, is well contained. Again, in terms of the future outlook, the management has guided for stable NIMs here on, and there's a pipeline of 500 crores of restructured assets which needs to be watched out for. And management has maintained the guidance of credit cost at 75 bips. Overall, good set of results from ICICI Bank. In terms of Punjab National Bank, the profits were down by close to 12% of YOY basis on the back of a 10 bips decline in the margins and very poor asset quality, which has required the bank to make really high provisions. The slippages have come way far higher, around 4,200 odd crores, and the restructured assets again 2,100 odd crores in this quarter. So very poor asset quality for the bank, but the management does guide for just NIMs at 3.5%, and overall the asset quality needs to be watched out for. Overall, poor set of results from PNB.
Thanks a lot for that, Poonam. Of course, so those are a set of numbers that came out during the week, and a couple of them disappointed as well. Funny, what did you make of some of the banking numbers that came out? ICICI was stable, maybe on an odd OBC was stable, but disappointment from PNB, IOB and a couple of others.
Yeah, that's right. And, the asset quality is becoming really a very vicious issue. Because we thought that the worst of the asset quality concerns were behind us at the end of the first quarter. But this problem is not seeming to resolve itself, and this is all the more acute in public sector banks, because ICICI Bank also is a very large bank, but we have seen diametrically opposite results here. So I think what is happening is, post this Lehman crisis, you actually saw that many of the public sector banks had a joyride for almost 2.5 years when they were cornering market share, both in the retail as well as in the corporate side, where if you'll remember, banks like ICICI Bank, having learned some very tough lessons, were setting their house in order. I think what you're seeing is a reflection of what would happen post 2009 all the way up to 2011, and now these public sector banks are saddled with really poor asset quality. I think this might continue for a quarter or two more, and this will certainly be disconcerting for the market, especially if SBI were also to display the same kind of asset quality as PNB.
Okay. So a lot of banking numbers came out as well. IDFC was the other one that came out with numbers. But that aside, there were a lot of other newsmakers this week, broadly from the broader markets, and the stocks moved around as well. Z Entertainment, IRB, CESC, we discussed Exide, which corrected as well. Some news bits surrounding all of these. Let's get in Ajay to speak about what were some of the top newsmakers and the reasons why these stocks made news. Ajay.
Well, a couple of mid-cap stocks which were in news this week mostly ended on the downside. Z Entertainment, for one. Z Group has been under pressure and in question after Naveen Jindal has actually accused the group for extortion for in exchange of favors and especially higher ad spend for the group. So Z Entertainment Limited, that is one stock which is there in the F&O space, got hammered by the bears. Dealers were saying that there were renewed worries on corporate governance issues, and that's why some of the pressure was seen. Apart from that, the next stock which was also in focus for similar views is IRB Infra, though the company has clarified. However, there are reports that there is an investment on both sides which has happened between Purti Group of Mr. Gadkari, of BJP President, and IRB Infra. So those deals actually brought IRB under pressure, and again there were reports coming in, some of the large funds have trimmed exposure on these developments, again corporate governance issues related to the company. That was one stock under pressure. And finally, CESC, the Goenka Group company, which has actually invested, has actually announced investment in Firstsource Solutions. It's a BPO company in a deal which could value up to 650 crores. So that actually led to sharp pressure coming in. Brokerages also coming out like Citi and Edelweiss raising concerns that it's a completely unrelated acquisition and would burn the cash on the company's balance sheet. So these are the three stocks in news.
Oh, definitely. They were hogging the limelight all of this week. Ajay, thanks for that snapshot. Rajat, just want your views on Z Entertainment, IRB as well as CESC, and what do you foresee in the near-term charts?
See, I would say that if you look at, say, IRB, then IRB has fallen very sharply, but today's trading gave some stability because it has come down so much, close to about 110. This shows that whatever the kind of punishment that market wanted to give this kind of stocks has already been given, in this case IRB. And then you look at CESC, completely unrelated diversification, and for the first time, at least very rarely, we do see that a large stock like CESC getting the battering so much. I mean, it has broken not just 50-day, 90-day or 200-day moving average, it has gone far below that, and now this stock needs to actually do a catch up and do something, but it requires to get past, say, 290 to 300 zones. Only then you will see some kind of stability coming into that. And similar is the situation with other stocks that have seen such battering. So you require a lot of consolidation to happen before these stocks can once again be considered as investment buys. Of course, aggressive traders can always think of playing contrarian on these stocks.
Funny, very quickly, any of these stocks that you would have a call on? CESC got walloped, a couple of others as well, not doing the best. Any of these that you track?
Yeah, we would like to avoid all of them at this point in time because of various issues like IRB, you have a governance issue there. CESC, I think, will be derated for a long time to come. I think Z Entertainment, that's a stock that I guess, again, along with the Jindal Group, will be in for a collateral damage for some more time to come till this controversy exists.
Okay, we'll take a very quick break on that note. When we come back, lots more earnings and what's slated to come out next week. We'll chat about that.